Hey, what's going on, everyone? Austin Distel here with our guest, Molly Mahoney, the expert in video marketing. She's here to help you double your business with your message on video. And today, we're going to be talking about the perfect video sales script written by Jarvis that none other than Molly made herself after years on video. So, Molly, what are we going to learn today?
Ooh, I had my video pulled up on my other screen. So you started talking back to me. Okay, here's the thing. I was just at Vid Summit and I was honored to be emceeing at Vid Summit, which is one of the top YouTube marketing events. And person after person after person was sharing about their subscribers or their followers or about their views. And then I would ask questions about what they were selling on the back end. And they were like, oh, I haven't really gotten there yet. I'm only at 50,000 subscribers. So I'm not really concerned about the sales.
Wow.
And I was like, what are you talking about? So this script right here is going to show you how you can bring in more actual conversions with your videos without needing a huge mega list or, 10 million followers or 10 bajillion subscribers. And this is conversions in the form of email, text message, getting people's phone numbers, email addresses, filling your Facebook group if you have one of those, filling a Slack or a Discord group if you had one of those, and also sales on the backside. So we're going to talk about the whole thing. There's a really awesome recipe that you can use with Jarvis to make it super easy. And if you've seen this recipe in the past, there's a couple of tweaks I'm going to give you today to make it even more powerful, some little ninja strategies. And Austin, I'm hoping that you'll fill in some cool ninja tricks too, because you're like,
Yeah.
hello, in the office right now at Jarvis.
Yes, that's awesome. I think video is very powerful, and we've seen it in our own business. You guys are witnessing it right now. The amazing community. Speaking of, let us know in the chat where are you watching this from, because here in Austin, Texas, it's 11 a.m., but you might be watching it from around the world at midnight, which is I commend you for that. Way to go.
And do us a
And
favor, actually, let us know if you're where you're watching, like in the world, but also on what platform you're watching on. I love that Restream allows us to see where you are. I can see Winnie is there on Facebook. I can see that I know I shared this a bunch of different places. You shared this a bunch of different places. It's so cool how we can literally be everywhere.
Dave is right behind us.
Look at
Inception.
him. I love it.
So cool. Well, as you guys have questions, I'll be moderating in the background. So, I'll try and help you as I can. But here's the thing: if it's a really good question, I'll also feature it, and so you come up live, and Molly will answer it here with you. Stay to the end, and you'll also get access to her masterclass, and you'll get access to the Jarvis recipe, which you can download and save right into your Jarvis account. So this here is mostly for customers. So if you snuck in here and you're not already using Jarvis, I recommend go ahead getting started now so you can follow along. But this is really here just to deliver value, teach you how to use Jarvis, and so that you can go out there and create a lot of epic content, especially here in video.
Yay! I love it. And are you okay, Austin? I didn't ask you this, but can I do a giveaway?
Ooh, would love that. Who
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
who here wants to get her to give away some stuff?
Do
I
you want
think
to give away?
uh, I think we should. And I always love when you do this, and I also love when you do the nuggets.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna do a nugget giveaway. I'm trying to
Yes.
think. Maybe we can. I'm happy to give away some Jarvis swag also. So let's do. And
Ooh.
I am gonna send this to you, not from Jarvis. I'm gonna send it to you because I love Jarvis that much. So I'll whoever wins, we'll pick the swag together. We'll go to the Jarvis shop together, and I'm gonna send it to you as a gift. And
Ooh.
then also, I have a new book called Finding My Awesome. It's a children's book about being more confident. And guess what? Adults benefit from it too. So when it comes to being on camera,
Nice.
I know sometimes it's a little creepy and scary to hit that button. So this book, Finding My Awesome, I wrote it for kids, but really secretly so that the parents would read it and they would become more confident
Mm.
too.
I
So
love that. Yes.
yeah. So we're going to give away a copy of that too. So here's what you do. Yeah, you're going to give us a nugget just like Nancy Lewis Hill did in the chat. So give us the hashtag nugget as we're going through this video today. And each time you enter the hashtag nugget, sharing what the tip was that you took away, that you're going to put into action, we
Mm.
will take that as an entry. And then at the end, Austin and I will go through and we'll pick two winners, someone to win some Jarvis swag and then someone to win the children's book.
I
Sound
love
good?
it. That's awesome.
I love it.
And I heard about your book. I heard it's amazing. It's so
Thank you.
cool that you've done that to go from like, yeah, you're moderating Trafficking Conversion Summit while at the same time like your book is getting published. Like that's so cool.
It was so awesome. We didn't write the book with Jarvis because I had already started it before I fully like dug into Jarvis, but we did write lots of the copy and description and stuff to drive more traffic to the book. Then we hit number 1 in the new releases, which was just super cool. So yeah, I
I love
appreciate
it.
it. I love it. Amazing.
Sweet.
Yay.
Well, I think we got a lot of people here live now, so let's go ahead, turn off the chat, and the stage is yours, Molly. I'm here to moderate in the background, and if any good questions come up, I'll feature them.
Amazing. Cool. So you'll be bringing this screen share up on the screen.
Yep, you got it.
I love it. Oh my gosh, so cool. And I just want to thank you guys for your branding that matches all of my branding so perfectly. I know sometimes people are like, "Whoa, how did you do that?" But it was a total accident and actually just fate. So our branding matches so well. So we're going to use this script, this recipe that I actually created for Jarvis. This is what it's going to look like when you go to this. If you stay to the end, you can get your own version of this recipe. For right now, really just watch what's happening because I'm going to go pretty quickly and I'm going to go through all of the steps that you would take to write a full video blueprint for your script and also show notes to go with it. So the big thing about this strategy, which I know we have loads of members of the Cam fam here in the house, which is what we lovingly call our members from my program Show Up with Video. And what we do with this program and this script is that we actually use this template that you're going to go through today to be able to create one show a week that you drive loads of traffic to, and then you repurpose that one show a week to all these different platforms. And so by using Jarvis this way with this recipe, you're actually able to go through it and create the starting point before you go live or before you record a video. And then you automatically have show notes, which you put out as a blog post right away. Now, the other really cool thing I'm going to tell you before we actually dive into the recipe is the show notes become your first conversion step while you're delivering the video. So I'll show you this, but just to make sure you understand, the call to action actually goes at the very beginning. So the call to action happens before you even introduce yourself, which is how we've kind of flipped this video script on its head. And the call to action, when it happens right there, you actually get people to give you their email address and their phone number in order to get access to the show notes. Now, the show notes themselves, like I mentioned earlier, they're actually written as a blog post. So you get an email address, a phone number, and you get people to go to your blog, which drives traffic to your website. The other thing that we do is we actually put these show notes inside our Facebook group. So we drive traffic via getting their email address, getting their phone number. We send them to our Facebook group and we're sending people to the blog. So there's a really big piece. That's 4 conversion steps that are happening right there that move people closer to purchasing from you. So it's seriously, seriously awesome. Yes, the nuggets. And I believe, yes, this replay will be available. Last thing I'm going to say before I hit this button, which is the run button, is we are doing this with boss mode. I can't believe I don't have my boss mode mug. I have Starbucks here today. But my boss mode mug, I would cheers you with. We are doing this with boss mode because boss mode is the fastest, most awesomest way to make this actually happen. So this strategy I'm showing, if you're not using boss mode, I'm going to tell you, just upgrade. It is so worth it. Okay, I'm done talking now. We can jump in. Thank you, Austin. Okay, so once you see this, you're going to click run. Now, click the little run button, and that's going to run this recipe. If you're not familiar with recipes, they are only available in boss mode, and they are so good because what it does is it takes a little map that you can use to be able to create your own document using Jarvis. And it's working its tush off right now to get the recipe going. Come on, Jarvis. Wake up. My internet may be like, what's going on? Should we refresh him?
So yeah, and so let's talk about what recipes are as well.
Perfect.
This is a series uh, of actions, kind of like you would give an employee, like a standard operating procedure. And so it's going to follow these instructions in an order in which you can kind of duplicate over and over again for each video. Or even I've seen there's a really good one on the hero's journey. And so if you guys know that like 12-step journey, it goes A, B, C, and D. And so that's kind of what Molly has put together here, is the perfect series of events that Jarvis be writing about.
And then it'll give those instructions to Jarvis, and it also gives instructions to you. So I'm going to walk you through this so that you can see that you literally just follow the directions and magic unfolds. So the first step of this is we're going to write a content brief about whatever topic it is that you're going to be doing your video about. I always love to suggest that you start creating videos that squish objections that your ideal client has to purchasing from you. So if you're not sure what to write about, that's a really great place to start. If someone says, I don't have enough time, do a video about time management, right? So different things like that. It's a really great place to start.
Hey, Molly, here for the recording. Can we zoom in just a little bit more so
Yeah,
people can watch the action?
sure. So do you think, does that help? Does this help? And then I can actually zoom.
Yeah, why don't you Command plus, you zoom a little bit closer
Yeah.
here. I think that'll be good. What do you all think?
Can you guys see okay? I know you may be watching on your phone too.
We looking good, y'all? Yeah. I think we're good to go.
Okay, perfect. Now, I am going to write an entire document right here, right now for you. And I'm going to show you how this will be your video script and your video show notes. So let's actually just go with time management, because I think that's something that a lot of us may get the objection of, hey, I don't have enough time to purchase your product or service. So we're going to write a content brief about, we're going to remove where it says topic, and we're going to write time management for, I'm going to include my ideal client in here, entrepreneurs, and I'm going to put that right there. And then we're going to use this magical feature within boss mode, which is command or control on a PC and then enter. So if you move your cursor right to the end right here, right at the end of that period, it is going to read this whole entire sentence and it's going to do what that sentence says. So I'm going to hit command enter and watch what happens. Oh, that'll actually work. So let's try it one more time. If you feel that you want it to be a little
And you
juicier.
can even continue that
Oh, that's
thought
a great idea.
with Command J. So it's starting off the sentence, and now you can continue that direction or erase it and redo it.
So as you're going through this, that's such an awesome point that sometimes, Jarvis is like really creating brand new stuff for you every single time. So if it doesn't give you something that really resonates with you, you can hit, Command Z, erase it and redo it. Or you can hit
Yep.
Command J and it will write a little bit more. You can also go in here and you can add a little bit to it, because the more information you give Jarvis to make things specific, the more he'll give you goodness back. So entrepreneurs need to manage
And
it. Yeah.
also, real quick, see on the left-hand side where it says title and content brief and tone of voice and keywords. If you fill all of that in up front, do a little bit of homework on your own, this gives Jarvis context to what you're trying to write. And so that's why the very first time, without any context, it's just kind of latching on to really what you've told it as a direction. But if you give it, that brief in the beginning, then it'll carry that through into every single time it writes.
So actually that's what and a lot of people get stuck on that brief piece. So this is actually the brief that we're going to put into the sidebar over there. So we can even leave it just like this. I'm going to hit a period right here, and then I'm going to follow these directions, manually move this into the sidebar once it's written. I'm going to take this, I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to put it over here into the sidebar. And now it's telling us that we're going to, write this whole, this is going to be, and I'm going to change this to a blog post because we're going to be writing a video script, but I like to call it a blog post for Jarvis so that he looks at the end in mind, which is going to be our show notes. So write a blog post about the importance of time management for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs need to manage their time wisely, and here are some tips for doing so. So it's like an okay content brief that we could start with. And if you want to make it a little juicier, you can like add some pain points in there. So I could add entrepreneurs need to manage their time wisely so they can make the most of their working hours and live their best life. Here are some tips for doing so. So this is going to be the content brief that we just have over here on the side. I love that you mentioned the tone of voice because we didn't have the tone of voice in here as an option when I created this. In the tone of voice section, you can add in if you have written, and Austin, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if you have written things on the internet before 2019, it can actually pull your own tone of voice into this. Is that correct?
Yes, before 2019, if you have written, a notable piece of amount of content on the internet, then it's going to probably have read that. And so, for example, like Joe Rogan, he has come up with so much content, and so it's read his tweets. It's read the show notes of articles about him, and so it kind of understands like what that tone of voice is like. Brene Brown's probably a good example too. We actually did Tony Robbins, and I was talking to Tony Robbins' son, Jarek, and he was saying, "Oh my god, it is literally just like my dad."
And
So cool.
I use myself a lot, honestly, and I'm kind of a goofy personality when I'm writing, and I feel like it actually picks up on my own tone of voice pretty well. You can also write things like witty, serious, or let's actually do this one, which is one of my favorites. It's hot mess mom. So
Mm.
when we do hot mess mom, and we have a client who serves people that love to call themselves a hot mess and their mom. So when we do hot mess mom, it kind of gives us funny stuff sometimes. So let's do hot mess mom for entrepreneurs who need to manage their time wisely. Okay, now I'm going to remove these instructions right here because I don't want Jarvis to read that. So I'm going to delete the instructions right there, and then I'm going to keep going. You can also add keywords down here if you've done SEO keywords. So let's say we add in time management and then time management for entrepreneurs. And then we could even add in like mom whoops. I can't spell.
And now you click enter. You actually don't comma
Well,
separate
you know
them.
what? I
You
do
click
that every
enter after
time.
each one.
I'm so glad you're here with me. Thank you. I do it every single time. So you don't do a comma. I'm just going to copy these. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. I'm just giving you a chance to catch up. Thank you. That looks much better, right? And
Perfect.
then I love it. We'll get this one in here too. Perfect. Maybe. Okay, we're just gonna leave those two. What did I just do? All right, so
I think there was a comma at the end of it. All good.
okay, there was a comma there. You're right. No commas for Molly. Sorry. Okay, mom entrepreneurs. It's just proving this is real life. Okay, so all those are there. And if you don't want your document to pick up on this stuff, it's really awesome that they've added in this little toggle, and you can toggle
Mhm.
it so that Jarvis will not read it. But if it's toggled on, he will read it.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go back into our main document here now. So we've written this first part, and I'm actually, since I made some edits to it, I am going to add the edits over here on this side so that all of the edits that I put are here. Now I know he's reading it from this section, but watch what we're doing below. This is going to be helpful to leave the content brief up here just for this next step. So the next step is write 5 compelling titles based on the content brief above. I'm going to come here and I'm just going to hit Command Enter again, and it's going to come up with 5 titles. So the titles are the 8 time management tips for entrepreneurs, impress your boss with time management skills, 5 simple strategies for better time management, effective time management to achieve your goals, find balance in your life by focusing on the important things. So I love that you can go in different directions with this. Let's go with this one right here, the 5 simple strategies for better time management. We're going to use that. And I'm going to delete the others because that's what the instructions tell me to do. So I'm going to delete the others. It says manually select your favorite, make it H1 format, and add it to the sidebar. Then remove the content brief from the placement above in the document. So we're going to make this one H1. That's telling Jarvis that this is the title. We're also going to copy this and we're going to put it into the title section over here on the left-hand side. So now we've got that there. We've got this here. And I'm going to delete the instructions that I have here. Now, this part is something that may need a little explanation for you. So this next section, the PAS, is actually going to be the description for your video that you're going to do. And this is going to be a way for you to promote your video as well. So this description is what you're going to put into the description section when you schedule your video or when you put push that go live button or when you publish your video. And what I love is that you can also take this little description section. You can use it as your email announcement. You can use it as a post on Instagram that then drives people back to your video wherever it's happening, a post on LinkedIn that drives people to your YouTube, a post on Instagram that drives people to your Facebook, whatever it is. So you're going to be able to use this next section all over. So we're going to follow the directions here. Write a PAS, which stands for problem, agitate, solve, and Jarvis understands that. Write a PAS description for a blog post about the title above. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to hit Command Enter. Problem. Entrepreneurs need to manage their time wisely so they can make the most out of their working hours and live their best life. Notice it's pulling that from over here, which is pretty cool, right? They're often pulled in many directions by family, friends, work, hobbies. I am all about the Oxford comma, Jarvis, and other commitments. This leaves them feeling overwhelmed with an inability to care for themselves or others. Amazing, right? Time management is a skill that needs to be learned if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. It's important for entrepreneurs to learn to prioritize their tasks and goals for themselves in order to achieve success on all fronts, personal and professional. Jarvis is like really giving it to us today. I love it. And then here, the solution piece is, here are 5 simple strategies for better time management that will help entrepreneurs feel more grounded while achieving everything they want out of life.
That's amazing. Guys, I want to throw the chat up here. Your all's comments will be shown live. What do you all think about this so far? How amazing is Jarvis at writing the script? We had nothing when we started. All of this has been written by Jarvis so far.
I mean, as I was just reading that, I was thinking, wait a minute, did I write some of this? Like, did we skip ahead? Was this already written in here? But it wasn't. He just wrote it right now, which is so cool. Okay, so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to clean it up just a little bit. Now, I don't go way deep into fully reviewing all of this when I'm first writing this blueprint. I'm just going to come in and I'm going to clean up a few little things. So I'm going to remove problem because that's part of the template, right? I'm going to remove agitate and this extra space. I'm going to remove the little dash. And I may even make this into like one paragraph there. And then the solution piece, I'm going to remove that as well. And then check this out. I left a little note here for you. This will be the framework for the description of your video. Remove the words problem, agitate, solution. So that's what I explained to you earlier. We're just going to delete this because you don't need to know that anymore. Okay. Now pay attention to this part because this is a little different than most of the recipes you may have used if you've used other recipes before. If this is your first time using a recipe and you're thinking of getting boss mode, oh my gosh, you got to get it because it is so good. So this is really sneaky and I'm pulling this straight from our Show Up with Video program. So because I love Jarvis and I wear my Jarvis swag, I'm telling you this. Right here, you're going to manually enter the call to action. So what I love to do is I say, if you want access to the show notes from today's video, just drop the word remind me below this video and we will get you access right away. Now, I usually do my videos both on Facebook and on YouTube. When people comment below with the word remind me, on Facebook, I have a messenger bot that messages them right away. It gets them access to the show notes. They have to enter their email, their phone number, and then the show notes are in our Facebook group as a blog post. So from this one section here, you are bringing in 4 conversions. Plus, you're getting people to be reminded the next time you're live. That is 5 separate things that are happening from one little sentence that you're adding in here. I don't think Jarvis fully knows my call to action formula, which is why I'm giving it to you as a part of this recipe. So you're going to just delete the instructions and you're going to say, if you want the show notes, or let's say you're not actually doing show notes, you're doing some sort of, lead magnet or a checklist or something like that. You just say that right there. What you're not going to do, especially if you're on Facebook, you're not going to say, go to thepreparedperformer.com and you'll get access to the show notes. We don't want to send people off of our video. We want to keep them watching our video longer. So we ask them to drop a word below. It keeps them on the video and then you can give them the link later. But in this point, we want to keep them on the video. And then if you don't have a messenger bot, you can follow up with them manually, right? And we do this with ManyChat. Yeah. Okay. So if you want access to the show notes, and what I usually say is like drop the word, what I would say is drop the word, remind me below. Okay. And I'm just going to do this. And I'm specifically, this is another little nugget. I'm not saying the word comment below because our good friends over at the Book of Faces have told us if you say comment, 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 comment in your videos, it's going to flag to them that you are using what they call engagement bait. And they don't want us to use engagement bait. They want this to be a natural, normal conversation. So it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty great to be able to just say very casually, drop the word remind me below. Okay, then
Guys, she's giving away the farm here. this is secret information that she is passing along to you. Are all these little tidbits also in your masterclass that we'll be giving later at the end of this?
Thank you. Yes, actually, so in the masterclass later, I'm actually doing a masterclass today at noon. So if you're watching this live right now, you can come with us at noon Pacific today. If you're watching this in the replay, we usually do one of these masterclasses once a month. So the same secret link that we'll give you later will work for that masterclass in the future.
Let's go ahead and I'll give that link now just so that they can hold it in a new tab, or should I do the remind me in the comment section?
I know, right? Well, since this is not my video originally, I mean, remind me will work if they're watching on my Facebook page, but because we're literally all over the internet right now, just give the link. So we're going to break my rule because otherwise it could be a little too crazy because I think we're broadcasting in like 8 different places. And so
we are broadcasting in many different places. So if you guys go to molly.live/recipe, then you're going to get this recipe here. And if you go to...
Wait, actually, so hold on. Because
Yep.
I don't think molly.live/recipe is anything. It's video script.
Oh, sorry. Yes. molly.live/video script. I was looking at another one. And you go to jarvis.ai/Molly, you'll get the masterclass, which you're going live today at noon, PST.
Pacific Standard Time. Yeah. Awesome. And we'll go into the whole strategy. I've got like infographics and a whole little map that you can take a picture of that shows you exactly how we do this little workflow for it.
Perfect. All right. I'll show these again in a little bit, but let's continue on here.
Okay, amazing. So here, if you want to access Drop the Word, remind me below. Then this is another thing that I am pulling from our program that will change your life. So this is what we call your value statement. It is all about powerful positioning so that people know exactly who you are, who you serve, and why they should care, right? What transformation you're helping them to achieve. So you're going to type this one in as well, which maybe at some point we could get Jarvis to come up with a value statement little magic in here, but you just fill in the blanks. So you're going to say this, hi. And what I usually say is if we've never met before, because I know we have people on our videos. There's people here right now that I've known for years. And so I don't need to reintroduce myself to those people. But I do want to say to the new people that I've maybe never met before, hey, if we've never met before, my name is Molly Mahoney, and I'm just going to follow this framework here. Okay. I'm going to say, hi, I'm Molly Mahoney. I have a company called The Prepared Performer. So sometimes I'll add that in my name section. And then I say, I help experts and entrepreneurs to grow and monetize their visibility so they can get clients with videos and turn their message into a movement without losing their marbles on social media. So I'm saying the thing that they want and the thing that they don't want. And then at the very end, I say, we do this via coaching courses and our GLAM Go Live and Monetize framework. Okay, so this is like our unique mechanism that you want to mention at the end. If you don't have that stuff, get that stuff in line. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but this right here is a really great way to just add in your own little commercial for yourself right in the middle. Questions about that, Austin? Do we want to?
No, I think that's pretty clear. You're crushing it.
Amazing. Okay, perfect. Now here's one little thing that I want to add into this. And I asked Austin, actually, I was like, can we update this? But right now we've already had like 2,000 people have downloaded this framework within the Jarvis community. And I was like, I don't want those numbers to go away. So I'm going to give you one little tip that I use here. And this little tip is right here. I actually add in boop, boop, boop. Austin, tell us what those 3 little stars do.
All right. So you know when a horse is walking down the street and has these blinders on the sides of its eyes? That's basically what this is. We're giving Jarvis some blinders so that it doesn't look above those three dots, those stars. Now, it still is going to read the title and description and all of that. So you have to toggle those off if you don't want it to read those as well.
Awesome. So that's exactly why we do that, because I found that sometimes when he's reading your bio and all that kind of stuff, he gets a little confused because he's like, whoa, Molly, what are you doing? You're saying so many different things, right? So that can get a little cuckoo. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put those three dots in there. And now we're starting again. And this is actually, just so you know, this is your video script. Your video script, you're going to read all of this stuff. I mean, hold on. You're not going to read it. You'll read it beforehand. And then when you go live, you just say it because you're a human being who can just speak. Okay. I don't want you to read your videos out loud, like with a teleprompter, because then you will sound like a robot. And I know we love robots like Jarvis, but we don't want you to sound like a robot. But this is the basic framework of your video. This also, after you get to the part where you introduce yourself, what basically happens is, and this is like the real magic that a lot of people do not understand. What happens is when you get to this part of the video, you are basically starting your video over. Because that first section that we just went through, most people aren't actually going to see it. It takes a lot of time when you're doing a live video. It takes time for people to find the video. The links are like kind of populating on the places. So that first part that we just created is really for the replay viewers. And we want to make sure that the people who are coming in live get the full context. Now, one thing that I do that's a little different than most video creators will have, when they do a live video, they'll have like a 5-minute dance party at the beginning. And don't get me wrong, I love dancing. I have been a professional dancer for most of my life as a musical theater performer. And I do not start my videos with a dance party. I start my videos getting right into the PAS, the meat of the matter that Jarvis helps us to get to, so that your viewers know they need to keep watching. And even if people don't watch the whole entire thing, we get them to convert by having that call to action right at the very top. I was about to say this, and I'm going to say it. I was going to say, I don't waste my time with dancing. Now, keep in mind, I dance a lot in my life. If you go to my Instagram, you can see I do a lot of dancing videos, but not here in the middle of this section. So at this point, we're tapping into the problem. We're keeping them really connected so they know they have to keep watching. That's my little soapbox. Okay, then we're going to continue on. We're just going to take this title and I'm going to paste it right inside these little brackets. Put that title there. I'm going to come to the end. And this is a little different. I'm not using the PAS here. I'm actually writing an intro paragraph for a blog post. Watch, Command Enter. And remember, this is going to double as our blog post and our video script. So it's both. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Time is finite. Yes, it is, Jarvis. It cannot be created or destroyed or only changed in form. I mean, we could have a whole esoteric conversation about
Jarvis is Socrates in this scenario.
I love it. A few seconds here and there may not seem like much, but over time, it can make a significant difference. This is especially true for entrepreneurs who juggle multiple tasks to grow their businesses and live their best lives. He's bringing that back in. I love it. The challenge of balancing work-life balance and with growing your company can make it difficult to find time for everything that matters most to you, which is why prioritization skills are so important. Here's a list of strategies to help you manage your time better as an entrepreneur. Now watch, this is actually really cool. This little section right here is going to be written by the next command. So I'm just going to delete that. And then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to, sorry. Okay. Can I go on?
Yeah. Some people will say that they think it is just too good to be actually like original. They think it's copied from some, author or like professional speaker. But Molly, do you know how Jarvis works? Like where it's pulling its information from?
I do. And I think it is the most magical, coolest thing ever in the whole entire world, which is why some of you who know me know that I am legitimately obsessed with this tool. I think it is the most magical, cool thing ever. So tell us how it works, because I think it's so awesome.
So Jarvis is not copying from any one specific source. It is actually has read 10% of the internet, most of the public internet back before 2019. And so it has just read all of these articles, blog posts, newsletters, etc. that's been out there published. And it's going to combine all of them along with the information that you've given it above wherever your cursor is to create original plagiarism free copy. And if you want to be totally sure, we actually just this week launched Plagiarism Checker, a new feature that we partnered with our friends over at Copyscape to, which is the premier plagiarism checker on the internet. And they now you can actually access Copyscape from within Jarvis, and so super cool that we've been able to partner with them, and you can see 99% of the time Jarvis is 100% plagiarism free, totally original copy. And that 1% of the time that it's not, it's often just pretty generic
Mm.
words and phrases out there that you probably would have said anyway. So,
Like if you were typing, I want a cup of
coffee.
exactly.
It's
Like
going to
that
be
would be
out
the
there,
thing that you
right?
would think would be. I mean, there's certain things that we would just automatically put there and have probably been written on the internet 100 million times. I love that you guys just added this. I just saw it and I was so excited because this really does allow you to trust that this is, it's just so good. And it's why you need boss mode because like it's
Yes.
magic. It's
And,
magic.
and so, with that in hand, also remember that Jarvis is not your dictionary or to write your dissertation for your PhD because it's not trying to be always factually correct. It's trying to be persuasive and creative and get the job done that you're asking it to. And so, if it's to sell a product or to grab readers' attention for your video, it's here to write that original creative marketing copy. And so don't try to have it write your, top 5 stocks to buy today. All right. So just make sure that you're separating that. So if you want to be factually correct, I think that you should quote those sources and then just
Mm.
copy and paste that directly into your article. Cool
Such a
beans?
great point. And it's funny that sometimes, like, Austin used this several months ago to write an introduction for another training that we did together about filling your Facebook group, like building your community with Jarvis, which I'm sure you can find that training somewhere around here too.
Mhm.
And when he was writing it, it said, Jarvis said, Molly is a speaker at Social Media Marketing World. And he messaged me, like, were you actually a speaker at Social Media Marketing World? And I said, I was. So sometimes he pulls out actual truth. But I think it's really important that we make sure you are still using your own brain, your own brilliance, your own knowledge, and your own ability to fact check.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. So without that tangent, let's move along.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to keep going here. So now it says, here are 5 strategies to help you manage your time better as an entrepreneur. Now, I'm going to do 2 things here. One is I'm going to do this following the recipe, and we're going to see what Jarvis comes up with. And I'm going to let you know that sometimes at this point in the recipe, I will activate power mode. So I'll show you power mode in just a second, which you may not be aware of. Okay, write a blog post outline for a blog post called, and remember, I'm writing blog posts because I think it's easier for Jarvis to understand what I eventually want out of this, but it's going to be my video blueprint. Okay, I'm just putting that title here again. And then I'm going to come right here and I'm going to do Command, Enter, and we're going to cross our fingers and see what happens. Okay, so this is sometimes what happens to me, and maybe Austin, you have a tip about this. It'll pull from the thing that I just wrote when I do this, and I don't know why. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit Command Z, and I'm going to show you this power mode, because remember in the beginning when I said this is it's a list of instructions for Jarvis. It's also a list of instructions for you. So you know the next step on here is that we want a blog post outline for a blog post called this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the very top and we're going to turn power mode on. So watch. Boom. Now, all of a sudden, all of these specific templates from the side over here that are very specific are popped up, and we can ask Jarvis to write something that's super, super, super specific without worrying about all the other stuff that I wrote on this document. So I'm going to do blog post outline.
And we're a little bit zoomed in here so that the
Yes.
audience could read. So why don't we zoom back out and so the UI fixes correctly. But let me explain what power mode is as well, because this is actually where we started our grassroots.
Mhm.
we trained, being years in the marketing world, starting with marketing agencies, then creating courses, and then now creating software for marketers. We built these templates based on the industry's best practices, and also we consulted with some of our expert friends who taught us, gave us their best examples of a blog post outline or a Facebook ad headline or Amazon bullet points. All right, so Jarvis has been taught example after example after example on the perfect way to do this. So when you're entering power mode here, you're going to choose the exact example that you want Jarvis to follow, which will be a little bit of a different result than the ones if you just ask it to in boss mode, because then you're talking directly to the AI, kind of jumping over our team and telling Jarvis what to do.
Amazing. So right here, we're going to enter in blog post title or topic, 5 simple strategies for better time management. I'm going to use a tone of voice, Molly Mahoney. And then I'm at the bottom down here, I'm going to select 3 outputs. Now, one other thing that's really cool about boss mode is that you get unlimited words, which I love so much, because sometimes like I just don't have to worry about it. I can ask for a million different ideas. And sometimes the ideas are kind of random and maybe not exactly what I personally would necessarily go with, but they always give me a jumping off point. So no matter what, I'm always inspired if I'm not actually going to take the real specific words. And so this unlimited word thing with boss mode is just so awesome. So I'm going to click generate AI content. And those of you that know me know that I have been doing these videos weekly on my business page since 2016. So I personally, if I have a title, I can make up a whole video script out of my mind anytime. That being said, some days, because I am helping clients come up with ideas, I'm helping myself come up with ideas. Like I am doing trainings like this. I've got my kiddos. Charlie's here with me in the room right now, actually. He says hi. Some days I am like, my brain just cannot come up with any more copy. And to have Jarvis here to hold my hand and to dance with me is what I feel like. We're dancing with Jarvis. To have Jarvis here to dance with me, it is so freeing. It is amazing. So it's awesome. Okay, so here I'm going to read these different ideas. Now, you probably have some bullet points in your own head, like I just said, but we're going to use this just as a starting off point. So schedule time for what you want to do. Make a list of things that need to be done. Prioritize your task and work on the most important first. Write down your goals and how much time you'll need to complete them. Keep track of how much time you're spending on each task. I mean, all of these things, right? We just got 2 of them. Let's just see what happens if I do 3 more and see what happens. I just like to look, because I think all of these are great ideas, and we could take all of these and build them out into other little mini pieces of content. Create a schedule. Take care of the most difficult tasks first. Focus on one task at a time. Set deadlines for yourself and stick to them. Prioritize your work so that less important tasks are completed. Set aside time aside each day. Okay. I'm going to go with this one because it's got like mentions of social media, all this stuff. Set a timer. All of these are so good. Okay. So I'm just, for the purpose of this, okay, I don't know which one to choose. Let's do this one because it's just shorter. It's so good though. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to copy all of these. I'm copying everything because I love it all so much. So now what we're going to do, we have these ideas. We're going to close the power mode off. We're going to go back to focus mode, which brings us back here so we can focus, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to enter these here. So I'm going to delete this section where we had the command, and now I have this. And I'm going to add my own little personality into these. So I'm going to make the first one, create a schedule based on what you love, because we don't want to just create any kind of schedule. We want to create a schedule based on what we love. And then I'm going to say here, that's fine. Take care of the most difficult tasks first. Focus on one task at a time. Set deadlines for yourself and stick to them. And then prioritize your work. So the less important, I don't like this one. So I'm just going to, e.g. doing the laundry. Right. So here, I'm going to make this last one. If we're using time management, I'm going to say, have a time management party before you go to bed. Okay, let's call it a planning party. This is actually something I like to do. So I'll put on some music and I'll plan out my next day and make it a party rather than making it something that you hate doing. Okay, now what we're going to do with each of these, I like to remove the numbers because sometimes Jarvis will add in more numbers because I've written numbers. And as Austin can probably explain as well, Jarvis is not only picking up on our words, he's picking up on the style with which we write things. Right, Austin?
Yeah, that's right. So Jarvis is pretty much a follower of patterns, and that's kind of actually how our brains think too. So if we're trying to do like duck, duck, goose, like it's gonna try and go in all these random directions. It's gonna try and do duck, 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 duck. So whenever you're trying to do a different direction or take a tangent, like it's not gonna understand that. It's if you say 1, 2, 3, 4, it's gonna keep continuing that pattern. So that's when you want to use the blinders. And that's also maybe when you want to switch over to the power mode and try, I want to use a creative storyteller or a perfect headline script.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so here, now what I did, I followed the directions that were listed here that said to make these H2. That's going to help when you put this into your blog post because it is allowing the SEO gods to pick up on different things here, right? If you have other SEO stuff, you can add in SEO words into your titles. We're not going to worry too much about that today. And we're just going to keep going, but just know you can do that. Okay, now the next command here is continue writing more information about the previous sentence. You can use that and you can also do this. So I'm going to show you something that's a little more advanced, that's a little more nuanced, that was a little harder to explain in this recipe because you're here with us live and you're dropping nuggets. All I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to write like the first 2 words of the next paragraph. This is 3 words. Entrepreneur. And then I'm going to come down here over on the left-hand side. It says small, medium, or shorter, medium, and longer outputs. I'm going to select the longer output. And then with my cursor right here as an entrepreneur, I'm either going to hit this button or I'm going to hit Command J. So it's saying, Jarvis, you take the wheel. So this is like, I'm on the dance floor with Jarvis and he spun me out on the dance floor and I'm like, you take a solo now. Okay. So I'm going to give Jarvis the solo. I'm going to hit this. But I gave him a little bit of a start by saying as an entrepreneur. Watch. It's so
Yes. Let's go, Jarvis. Yes.
good. It's so good. Okay. I mean, for the purposes of this video, I don't even think I need to read this stuff. We can just say like, this is, if mornings aren't your jam, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. So at this point, honestly, I don't even read what's happening here. I just do this part and then I come back and I fix the whole thing up later and zhuzh it a little bit. Can we just do this for each of these?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
And so Jarvis is going to be on boss mode, reading the last 3,000 characters. So it has a lot of context. And when it has context about what you're writing, wanting to write about, then it will do a better job at staying on topic. And so that's, unless you put the blinders up above. So that's kind of like its stopping point. So yeah, that's what Jarvis is reading before it starts writing.
Okay, I just wrote, let's be real. You put off the things that you don't want to do. So schedule those things first. It will, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm just going to let Jarvis take the wheel. Give you the satisfaction of knowing they're complete and set you up with less challenging tasks to look forward to in the day. Oh my gosh, it's so good. As an entrepreneur, it's easy to get wrapped in the work-related matters and neglect your own needs. Oh my gosh, he's even taking care of my health here. So maybe that means you need to work out in the morning, right? I'm going to add in here. But now I'm going to give an example from my own life. Even started doing my social media networking on the Peloton for 20 minutes a day.
You know what? I want to do something fun. Let's take a curveball. In front of that sentence, I want you to write a story about, and then now you're giving Jarvis a direction about how you get on the Peloton for 20 minutes in the morning. And at the end of that, we can do Command Enter, and it'll actually, now you're telling it what to write about. And let's see if,
Can I do this? Oh,
yeah,
but maybe change the word right to the word right. Will that work? Maybe?
yep,
Okay, let's
it,
try.
it, it might work. Let's see. Okay, so it's
Pretty good. Nobody. Okay, watch this. And I'll just write here. Oh my gosh, so awesome. For example, nobody can
I
escape social
I
media
love
these
the
days.
joke that Jarvis threw in there. No, working on a Peloton, a bike that makes you look like you're really cycling.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Some would say after
Jarvis
spending
is in a
hours
mood
upon hours.
today.
I mean, this is so good. Of course, this is where my morning routine comes in. I've even started doing my social media networking on the Peloton, a bike that makes it look like you're really cycling for 20 minutes every morning before breakfast because nothing gets me ready for my busy day like knocking out some ROI tasks. Oh my gosh.
So
Okay, so
fun.
this is so good. I love that so much. So for time, do you want to just skip to the next section down here?
Yeah, so everybody's gonna have access to this recipe if they go to molly.live/video script, and you'll be able to download this straight into your account. You have to have boss mode to be able to use it, but it's well worth the upgrade. And can I just say something real quick? Look, we're going to go super heavy into boss mode because honestly, the reviews of people that use boss mode is dramatically um, like more raving fans, and people just find so much value out of it. You move, I say 5 times faster in our marketing, but it's really like 10 times faster. All
I mean,
right.
I'm doing this all while we're talking without really like anything. And I'm just like doing this and it's just writing for me. And I'm not even really thinking
Yeah.
about it.
It's certainly worth the upgrade. And I just say, like, we can get you on a trial of it if you really are skeptical, but it's going to be the best upgrade that you worth. And honestly, you can use it for video scripts. It's really good for blog posts, especially if you're into SEO and you want to have your videos rank, or you want to have the transcriptions in the form of a blog post rank on social media, rank on SEO. This is just really supercharging Jarvis. So highly recommend upgrading to boss mode. All right, that's all I have to say there.
I love it so much. And I got too excited and I accidentally hit Command Enter about party planning, your planning party. Which then I like broke Jarvis for a second and it said, "Hey, Jarvis is working, Molly." Oh my gosh, look at this. Even a planning party, he knows how to write. I get everything out on the table, including my laptop and notebook. Obviously, I plan my next day. Then I plan my week ahead using a product management tool like Asana or Trello. I totally do that. This way I can break down each task into manageable chunks. Oh my gosh. Okay, now watch. I'm going to delete this because I'm done with all of that. And now I'm going to write a conclusion paragraph for the blog post above. I'm going to hit Command Enter. And then you'll notice we get back into the video section. So the video section at the end, I say, write a strong invitation to join me for next week's video. Look at this. With these strategies in place, we hope you can have enough time left over for some you time and go for an occasional bike ride before breakfast. I am using this blog post. This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wow. I love the context because we were talking about the Peloton earlier.
Yes.
And oh, it's so good.
Okay, now at the end of it, you'll write in your own strong call to action, repeat your value statement, right? This is, I mean, we've been talking, I could have done this whole thing in 30 minutes for sure, because we've been talking and explaining all of this to you. Then at the end, this video blueprint will now serve as a guide for your video and your show notes. So you'd obviously delete that section. That's just a little note from me. This strong invitation I would write by myself, right? I'd write that in there. And check it out. Now, this whole thing after the call to action is actually your show notes. So starting, scroll down. So right here where we gave the little call to action and we introduced ourselves, this part right here, that is your show notes. Now watch this, Austin. We're going to blow minds. Just wait for it. Y'all. Okay. And this is why you want to come to the masterclass also. You also, with this show note and the blog post, now you have a blog post. You have the ability to send an email out to get to the live video. So there's a piece of content. And guess what you're going to use for the email? You're just going to come in and you're going to copy this. You can just copy, or not the remind me thing. copy this and say, join me in my upcoming live video. And if you're like, but I don't want to copy and paste that exactly, no problem. You're just going to go like this. You're going to come up here and you're going to say, hey, rephrase that, Jarvis. Jarvis can rephrase it. So now you have a new version for your own email. Super easy. And watch what's going to happen in a second. Each of these become their own little mini pieces of content. So we, like, literally, I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to show you this post that I did on my Facebook page based off of this format. And what I did was I went on Facebook and I shared my show notes before I actually did my video, which I had never really done before. I shared my show notes before I did my video. It's right here. I may have taken this picture while I was with Austin and a few other members from this community in Hawaii, like Jill, who I saw was here too. Okay, so on this picture, watch. All of these are my little bullet points, my blog posts. I wrote them as a post. And then I said, do you want to join me for a video about this where we'll dive into more? We had 700 comments on this post getting people to the video. Then you want to know what I did after that? I took these little moments and I made mini videos out of each of these little moments. So now out of this one post, I had a Facebook post, I had an email, I had a text message, I had a video, a long form video, I had a blog post, which was the show notes. I had 8 separate little mini Instagram videos that I could also turn into so many different types of content from there. It could be a regular little, I can show you on Instagram if you want to see it on Instagram. And we haven't even posted all of these yet because we've had so much going on. But on Instagram, that one that I just showed you turned into this video about telling the truth. We then did this video as an ad on our Facebook page. It's the same thing that I said in that one little section, which we came up with through that whole thing. It's like magic. Totally magic. Look at this.
This is
Freestyle
brilliant.
Sunday night dance party as I prep for an awesome week. It's just me dancing with the tip written above it. And I'm not even doing choreography. I'm just like jumping around my office.
I mean, you could
Magic.
repurpose this for TikToks. You could repurpose this for your ads. I mean, in fact, I think that's the right way to do marketing is just repurpose, reuse. And that's how you can be omnipresent.
Exactly. And this way it keeps your bases covered without having to create 7 million things. I know so many people who have seen the way that I'm showing up online think that I'm reinventing the wheel. I am not. I'm creating a library of content following this format. And then we have systems and strategies to drive people to the videos, to bring them in as subscribers, and then to repurpose that content all over the place. You need to have the right processes in place so that you don't lose your mind or your marbles. But starting with Jarvis as your video script is seriously banana pants amazing. So good.
I got to say, I love your vocabulary. Banana pants, amazing.
It's true. And I can add that into Jarvis and then it really makes it your own. So it's perfect.
I love it. Hey, I'm going to bring up the chat here as we finish out this training. Let's do a quick Q&A
Okay.
to wrap this up. But also, while we're getting those questions, Molly, you taught me an amazing tip at the end of these trainings. Let's do a quick, fast recap.
Yes.
So, do you want to run us through, the 2-minute recap of what is important to remember that we just learned over the last hour?
Yeah, totally. So can I screen share while I do it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. I am going to give you the key to creating a video that converts. Here we go. You are going to use the Jarvis video script that you see on the screen right here. I'm sure you'll find a link around this video somewhere. You're going to click run. Now, when you click run, what's going to happen is Jarvis is going to create this list of commands for you to use to supercharge your video format. And for each of these commands, you just follow the instructions. You put your little cursor at the end of the sentence where the command is, and you hit command enter. Let's just do one little example here really, really quickly. Write a content brief about better sleep habits. Okay, watch. I'm going to do that and I'm going to hit command enter just to show you how it works. And Jarvis is actually going to write that content brief. You're now going to take This whole document, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to write 5 compelling titles. Pick one that you love, follow the instructions. Write a PAS, blog post intro. This will be the description for your video. It will be your ads to get people to your video. It will also be the intro for your video. This is the little secret piece that most people don't do, they don't realize, they miss. You want to add in your call to action next by asking people to drop a word below if they want access to your show notes or a free gift. You're then just going to follow along with this, introducing yourself, introducing the topic of the video again to catch those people who just joined you live, and then use Jarvis to write a blog post outline, which will serve as both the video outline and your blog post outline, because you'll be using this script, this outline as your show notes as well. Continue writing, get that conclusion paragraph in there, and then write a strong invitation to join you on your next upcoming video. And you have got yourself set for at least 100 pieces of content if you wanted to, because you can now repurpose each little section of this video into content for other platforms. Because let's face it, we really can't trust any of these social media platforms anymore. And we have to make sure that we are fully omnipresent, multi-channel. And you can do this using this video script and the strategies that I'd love to share with you if you want more without losing your marbles. It's so good. This will help you to bring in clients from your videos. Go Jarvis boss mode.
Oh my God, you are so good on video. It is no wonder you're able to help people double their business with their video message. So cool, Molly. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's hop into the Q&A now as they've rolled in. That was epic. Yeah, guys, that's a little tidbit that Molly taught me at our mastermind in Maui. She goes, you should always recap at the end and then just use that as a teaser for your video. You can even throw that at the beginning. So there's a little extra nugget there for you.
Yeah, so that is what we actually do at the end of every single video. I do a little recap out loud, and then I clap right before I do it. And that way you can see the audio spike. So you can go in and you can chop that part off and then send more people back to your video. It's really, really good.
It's awesome. All right. So I didn't see actually a very many comments or questions about how to use Jarvis. And so I think, if there's any more questions that do come in, we can answer them. But could you explain a little bit about what you're going to be talking about in your masterclass?
Sure. Yeah. So in our upcoming masterclass, we are going to show you our full omnipresent video marketing plan. So I know I just rattled off like, do all these things. I have to be honest with you that there is specific strategy in addition to what I shared today in order to really make it work so that you don't feel like this crazy octopus trying to do 7 million things. There's strategy in the messaging. There's strategy in knowing what to talk about in your videos. There's honestly even strategy in knowing how to hit that button and showing up with the energy that's really authentically you, so that you're not trying to pretend like you're somebody else. You're not feeling like you're this awkward turtle stuck on the camera. So I'm going to go over all of that, from confidence to connections to content and conversions. And then I'll be sharing our full map to millions, which is what we used to generate a reach of 1 million organically on one of our videos. I'm also going to share, last week, we increased our views. You may have seen the screenshot because I shared it earlier. We increased our views, our subscribers, our subscribers on YouTube by 390%. And we increased our comments by 1,175%. And I'm going to show you exactly how we did that as well, because there was a strategy for that too.
I saw that chart you recently posted on your social media. I think it was on Facebook, about this screenshot of your analytics in YouTube just spiking, going right up the side.
It was the coolest thing ever. So I'm going to show you, there were some really specific strategies, and I'm going to dive into that on our training too.
Cool. I do see a question that says from Marius that you feel overwhelmed sometimes, that you're just getting started with Jarvis, and that you maybe want a clear path to figuring out exactly how Jarvis works. Well, you're in luck. We spent a lot of time and money on creating the perfect boot camp. It's only 45 minutes long. It's free. And you can go there to jarvis.ai/bootcamp. And it's a series of very short, scripted, punchy videos. So there's no excess mess. You can just get right to the point and learn exactly how Jarvis thinks, so that then you can control him better to write exactly what you want. And we're going to continue building that out even more. So if you guys have any recommendations, join us in the Facebook group. If you're not already in there, you should be. Jarvis.ai/community is the link to join that group. It's a special place. And honestly, it's pretty cool. I know
It's
that
the
Molly is
best.
very active.
I love it. And actually, so the boot camp, even though by the time the boot camp came out, I was pretty already like ingrained and obsessed with Jarvis, I did the certification thing after the boot camp, which made me go back and watch every single video in the boot camp. And I was so glad that I did, because there were a few things that I had not really paid attention to, like those three little asterisks marks,
Mhm.
things like that, that I had not caught on to. There's little tweaks that all of us can be adding, and the boot camp is put together in such a clear, concise way. It really allows you to feel empowered to jump in and take the lead so that Jarvis will dance the way that you want him to.
Yep, exactly. So, just if you were to arm your employee with the right directions to fulfill a task, you need to be a good boss to Jarvis so that it writes exactly what you want. And so, yeah, don't give up on Jarvis if it's writing what you didn't intend it to, or if it's repeating itself. It's just following patterns, and you need to learn a little bit of the techniques to be a better boss for Jarvis. And so that's why we made this boot camp, because it's a two-way sided tool. It's not just printing the exact same words; it's writing from scratch, totally plagiarism free original content. So that's why you got to learn it a little bit too.
And that's actually one question that I got wrong. I only got like 2 questions wrong on the certification, and I felt so stupid for getting this one. No, stupid's a bad word. Charlie said we don't say stupid, but I felt so bad for getting this one wrong, which was, how many words does he write at a time? And this one was actually a really important one for me to remember, is that he only writes 1 word at a time,
Mhm.
which is really helpful when you think of the plagiarizing factor, because it's not like he's grabbing 5 words at a time, which would be more likely to be the same as someone else's. So somebody had asked, like, is he writing the same content for everyone? And no, because he's writing just that 1 word at a time. So if you notice in your own document that it's repeated the same thing that it wrote above, it's because it's pulling from things within your own document. But it's
Mhm.
not doing that when it comes to things like out in the internet and the universe. So just keep that in mind, which to me was a really reassuring thing to remember.
Yep, exactly. Well, you nailed it. This is probably going to be our pillar piece of content because you crushed this training. Can we give Molly some love? This is an amazing training. I think you showed all the features. You showed exactly how you use it as an expert in the video field, how you use it in your daily life. I think that's an amazing feat, because some people will say like, "Oh, well, you're too far removed because you're like this big influencer now these days." No, like you're actually using the tools in your daily life.
Yeah. And I mean, we even, because you can kind of pull it up on your phone also, and I'll have it in the
Mm.
hot tub with the boys sometimes, and I'll let them use Jarvis just to write fun stories. Like you saw that Peloton example, that was so good. And I'm going to use that going forward. Sometimes I've not been sure how to use the creative storytelling if I'm not just using it for like my kids. But we even had, I mean, we've used that for some of our members and with ideas that we thought, no way would it be able to come up with a creative story around this. And it totally does. It is seriously amazing. So good.
Yep. Yeah, one user was saying that him and his child do instead of reading a book to each other at night, they actually write a book together at night using the Jarvis Creative Storyteller, which is so fun.
Charlie, you want to do that? We could write a book. Come here. We could write a book. Oh, he almost just lost his eye on my microphone. We could write a book about your monsters.
Okay.
That's okay. Would you want to do that?
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll think about it.
So much fun. Well, Molly, I'm going to let you go here. Thank you all so much for showing up live. And if you're watching the recording, go ahead and get started with this video script by going to molly.live/video script. And you'll be able to download this right into your account and get going. So thanks so much. And I'll see you all in the Facebook group.
Yeah,
Hope you all
tell your
enjoyed this
friends, because this
training.
is so good for everybody. It just gives us more time to hang out with the people we love. So tell your friends.
Awesome. Cheers, y'all. Talk to you soon.